most important.
So last week we actually did our first episode, which was really, really good. I thought it was fantastic. Right, I thought it was really, really good. A lot of people actually been asking me about it, throughout this week. Y'all been sharing it. I've been able to share it. So I thought it was really, really good. But this time we're doing episode 2. Nick picked this film for us to discuss and talk about, which was Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, 1991. My boys on YouTube with me. You can find us at GodzillaNerds 1954. And on Instagram, you can find me at GodzillaNerds 1954. So again, I'm Donald. My boys, y'all can go ahead.
I'm Nick.
I'm Serge.
And we got a special guest today. And we're going to let him introduce himself. And we're going to jump into this podcast.
What's up, y'all? I'm Remy Corona, also known as Remzil on Instagram. I'm a big fan of Godzilla, big fan of kaiju genre. You can look on my account. You can see that it's just filled with everything Godzilla related. So I'm really happy to be here, guys. Thank you guys for inviting me. And yeah, let's just have a fun time talking about kaiju.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Because we had fun. Like when I go back and watch the first video, it was awesome. Like I watched it at least 4 or 5 times because I thought it was just that good. And, like I told him last week, it's always good to get with a group of people who love doing something that you love to do. And, just having fun with it, getting different opinions and, different insights on this film. So to talk about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah 1991, Remy, before we talk about that movie, can we get your thoughts on the Godzilla versus Kong? How did you feel about that movie overall?
Oh, sure. I really enjoyed it. I thought in some aspects it was better than King of the Monsters. In some other aspects, I thought King of the Monsters was better. Like in my opinion, with the human storyline, I felt King of the Monsters did better. I know I'm a minority because everybody's like, oh, King of the Monsters, humans suck. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You're safe here.
Oh, okay, good. Like, I was about to say, I was like, oh god, one of them's gonna jump me. They're gonna go, excuse me, sir. The human characters they're horrible. I'm like, not. They're decent. But besides that, I really enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong. I loved Kong in the movie. I loved that Godzilla won, Team Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I love the final battle between Mechagodzilla. Man, seeing them team up on Mecha G in the big screen, that was great. So overall, I gave the film I think an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really good movie, and
cool.
I'm excited to see what they do in the future, if there's a future MonsterVerse.
I'm hoping there's a future. I do have the Godzilla versus Kong book, The Art of War, and there's a quote in that book that says, Godzilla and Kong are here to stay, and with the Hollow Earth, there's so many monsters that they haven't even explored yet. So that is in that book. So hopefully that means we still got a brighter future in the MonsterVerse. Serge, I want to pass this first question to you. When you look back at a film like Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991, what were you able to pull from this film?
Well, Nick, you chose a good one, man, because it's that movie, and I should have revisited it this week, but it's one of the ones that I actually watched the most. And with that film, they went wild with the sci-fi stuff. There was actually a lot of stuff in that movie. I mean, you got the sci-fi, you got the origin stories of both Godzilla and King Ghidorah in there. But when I say, man, we chose a good one, Nick, you chose a good one, is because I'm very conflicted on that one, because it has some of my favorite scenes from the Heisei and all the series. Yet I'm still kind of don't know how I feel about the story and the origin stories and how they kind of played out. And I still haven't decided how I feel about it. Sometimes it's pretty cool, and then sometimes I think, I don't know if I can really get behind that storyline, because it's kind of it's pretty wild, Yet it has some of my favorite scenes, some of my favorite action scenes. Both monsters look amazing in it. Well, all three, if you count Mecha King Ghidorah. And Yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes. Like Godzilla using his, I guess his original pulse when King Ghidorah has his necks wrapped around Godzilla.
Yeah.
Love that. I absolutely love that scene. And everything else. Oh, Godzilla blasting King Ghidorah's head off. That's it. In those regards, it's one of my favorite. But in the story, still a little conflicted. I guess I felt slightly, I don't want to say let down. Just felt weird about King Ghidorah's origin story. You know, we're used to seeing him as extraterrestrial destroyer, right?
Right.
And in this one, he's three Dorats.
Yeah, he is
mixed together. So it was a little different. It almost took the kind of like the awe away from him, but at the same time, he looks awesome and he looks killer, and he is killer in the movie. So, for me, that one's like a mixed bag. Yet I still love watching it.
Okay. All right. So what about you, Remy? When you look back at a film like this, what were you able to take from this film?
Well, when I was little, Godzilla vs King Ghidorah 1991 was like one of those hasty films I used to watch all the time because I got that DVD bundle. I haven't seen the film in a while though, but I've seen parts of it on YouTube and stuff like that, so I'm still very familiar with it with all the times I used to watch in the past. And I kind of agree with Sir. I like the movie still, but again, there's some aspects of it where I'm just a little iffy on it. Like I don't really I really like Godzilla's backstory in this film. I love the backstory with him. But King Ghidorah's origins in this, I'm a little iffy on. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, I like that he's an alien more. It just makes him a little bit more, adds some mystery to him. We don't actually know where he came from. He's this mysterious creature that we don't know existed, and here he comes down to Earth, causing havoc. But with this one, they explain it to us. And I'm sorry, the Dorats are supposed to be they're supposed to born into Godzilla's arch enemy. Come on, I don't really buy that. Come on. But yet again, this version of Godzilla is a beast. He is just brutal in this. I love how everybody thinks oh, Godzilla's here to save us, and as soon as he kills King Ghidorah, he's like, all right, he's dead. All right then. Where's Tokyo? I'm coming for all y'all. I'm coming for y'all. And he just freaks.
Pretty much what he actually did say.
Exactly. They're I love that one guy too. His reactions is yeah, I don't think this Godzilla here to save us. I mean, does he look like he's our savior?
Yeah, it's and that was my older brother. He had never seen it before, but he had watched it with me, and he was kind of touching on what you two first touched on. It was hard for him to kind of follow the plot because he thought it was everywhere, right? 1 minute they was here, 1 minute they was there, and to him it was kind of moving really, really fast. But now I'm gonna bring it to you, Nick. I just want to throw that in there. What did you pull from this film?
For me, the film was good. Like you guys said, the King Ghidorah thing's kind of iffy because I mean they do kind of look like aliens, but letting the nuclear waste hit them and all kind of messed everything up for me.
Right.
Because you built him way in the past, and up until Godzilla King of the Monsters, he was an alien. You had Monster Zero, you had Invasion of the Astro Monster. You built him up as an alien, and then showing him in here kind of, messed it up a little bit.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. The origins for me is what kind of threw it off. Yeah. It kind of threw it off. And some of the things that you guys touched on, we actually get later into it because I have some insight that I would like to hear from you guys. Favorite character in this film? Serge, I'll bring it back to you.
I forget his name. The soldier.
I can't pronounce his name, so I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the soldier that remembers Godzilla. He went on to become the businessman and everything, and then Godzilla kills him later, right? I don't know. I just liked him. I liked him as a person. and then just the fact that he had a relationship with Godzilla, and I don't know. I thought he, like I said, I don't remember his name, but I thought he really did that character justice, much better than I think I would go on to say that he's one of my favorite characters in, in most of the Heisei series. Just because he had an actual story and a tie to Godzilla that had lasted a long time. And then he had that weird thing where, like I said, Godzilla kills him at the end, which kind of left you wondering what just happened, like what's going on here. And of course, we never get an answer, but it's cool because it leaves you wondering what happened. What was Godzilla thinking?
Yeah, my brother, he had me rewind that part like 2 or 3 times. He was like the face off that Godzilla had with him, and then he just liked when Godzilla just blew him up and then blew the building up.
Yeah, and I think that also kind of ties into this character is tied to that, because you see that the guy thinks of it as like, well, Godzilla saved me, right, in the past.
Right.
But Godzilla is Godzilla. He's I guess you could say anti-hero. He's neither good nor bad most of the time.
He's a force of nature, basically.
Exactly, and sometimes nature
is neither good or bad.
Does not care about us.
Yeah,
exactly. So in this regard, not that the guy in the building got in the way of Godzilla. I guess you could say that, but sometimes nature does not have regard for us. And so in that regard, I like that character and that scene in particular, because it's more reinforcement of this is how Godzilla is. He's a force of nature. It's really best if we just get out of the way.
Well, yeah, and I think that was a good take, because also in this film, when the Americans and the Japanese was going at war, you can tell how much, and I like what they did in this film, you can tell how much they worshiped Godzilla. They looked at him as their savior. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was something really, really cool that they put in the film. I'm gonna bring it to you this time, Remy. Favorite character in the movie and why?
Okay, Godzilla. No, I'm kidding. My favorite character would be the android. I would say the android guy.
Okay.
I don't know. I really liked him. I think he was like the character that stood out to me the most. I just really enjoyed how, like when they were trying to take over that ship, all the characters were having trouble with that except for him. Like he would like that part where the elevator door opens.
Oh yeah.
And he's just standing right there and he looks at the 2 soldiers and just runs up towards them, knocks them both out. I'm like, yeah, I love this guy. He just take care of everybody.
What about you, Nick? Favorite character in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah?
I would say the Godzilla sword.
Okay.
Because you see that's his origin, He was peaceful on that island, and then they started a war, and Godzilla saw who was good and who was bad, so he started going after the Americans who were apparently bad in there, and he sacrificed himself saving the Japanese.
Yeah, he did. And I was kind of I ain't crying nothing, but I can share this with my boy. It was kind of an emotional part because when he was getting shot, the way he was just like hollering and screaming, I'm like, man, I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
oh, my bad. Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro. You good? Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it reminded me of King Kong 1976 at the finale, where Kong's like getting blasted by those helicopter bullets. Like you see the blood just like gushing out of him. Like,
that's a good reference.
Like with this movie, I'm like, yeah, they really show the brutality of Godzilla's sword getting blasted by the military. Like you feel his pain every time he's getting shot. Like you see bits of his skin just shoot off. Like it's brutal.
Yeah, my favorite character was Emmy. I was too busy looking at her, and then she had wait. And then she had this one scene where she was like, she could feel Godzilla like moving. I got goosebumps when they showed Godzilla moving. They start playing that theme. Like I was like, man, that was an awesome scene. So just because she had a little bit of ties to Godzilla, she was kind of fine too. So I was too busy looking at her. So she was my favorite character, and I liked the minister guy too that you said, sirs, that end up turning into a businessman. And it's not that I don't know their names, I just can't pronounce their names, so I don't want to get on here looking like no fool. But all right, this time I'm gonna come back to you, Remy. I got another question. Favorite fight scene in this film? Because Godzilla and Ghidorah face off a couple times in this film, so I'm gonna throw it at you. Favorite fight scene and why?
I would say my favorite fight scene is the first fight between Godzilla and King Ghidorah, because I feel like that's the fight where they feel like animals going at each other. Like they feel like of course they have like their beam struggle and all that stuff. But in my opinion, I feel like later on in the fight they actually like go at it. Like you got King Ghidorah strangling Godzilla, you got him like stomping on Godzilla. He's like flying up and down. And then my favorite part is when Godzilla grabs both of King Ghidorah's tails and starts lifting them up, slamming them back down, lifting them up again, slamming them back down. Because that's impressive to me. I'm like, wow, Godzilla can lift King Ghidorah that, like, to use that amount of strength to lift them up. That's impressive, in my opinion. And of course, him blasting off King Ghidorah's heads and like his wing. That's just brutal, but I love it.
I'm coming to you, Nick. Favorite fight scene in this film between the two fights?
That's a hard one. It was a lot of fight scenes. I would say when Mecha King Ghidorah showed up.
Okay. Because
you got to see, there was always a Mecha Godzilla, there was always a Mecha Kong. Now you got to see a Mecha King Ghidorah, which is pretty cool. They replaced his head with a metal one, and it still controls the rest of them. But it was pretty hard for Godzilla to defeat that one. Like,
well, I like the design too.
Everything he had to fight that one.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. He sure did. And I think it was unique to see something like that, especially in their time, right? Like people really don't know how legendary and classic that is to us, because we're not just your normal Godzilla fans. Like, we've been watching Godzilla for a really, really long time. So a lot of people really don't understand, how much joy that brings to us when we're able to see things like that. My man, sirs, I got to bring it to you. Favorite fight scene in this film? I ain't forget about it.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, and Remy, I'm with you on this one. Is that first fight? Just because, well, like I mentioned, I was a huge fan of whenever Godzilla used his pulse. When King Ghidorah's heads and necks were wrapped around him. I remember seeing that when I was a kid, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Because at that time, I mean, Godzilla was like foaming at the mouth. He was struggling there at that point, like that at least. And I had already really loved that pulse because he used it in Godzilla vs Biollante. So that one being my favorite, seeing it again in King versus King Ghidorah was just freaking cool because I just think it looks awesome. You see him lighting up, and it's like it's gonna come out, but nope, holds it in and blast. And that blast just threw King Ghidorah back, and I just thought that was so cool. And then of course, the headshot too. I love that.
And this Godzilla, like Remy was saying, man, was really, really strong. Like this Godzilla was tough. This Godzilla was menacing. Like Godzilla was holding his own, pretty much, and it was a pretty good fight. And I think, and once again, thank you, Nick, for allowing me to go back and rewatch this film, because when you watch this film, you can actually see a lot. It wasn't a lot of cutaways when they were fighting. Like you actually got to see them fight. Like if you really think about it, they wasn't cutting away how the modern movies were. But you actually, when they started fighting, you saw them fight. So I thought that was really, really good. There was a good balance with them fighting, and then they probably would go back and show something here and there, and then they're still fighting. So it was a lot of action in this film, towards the end. And with that being said, Nick, I'm gonna come to you. And this time it's not our favorite fight scene, it's our favorite overall scene in this film.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a few of them that I can pick from.
I am gonna go with Surge. The head blasting off. That was epic. That was epic. I wasn't expecting that. Like I know we've seen a lot of, talks about Mecha King Ghidorah and stuff like that. But now we see how he was born. Now we definitely see how he was born.
Yeah, went flying.
Yeah. That was epic. That's my favorite scene.
What about you, Remy?
My favorite scene would have to be like Godzilla's kind of like first entrance. I believe like when that actual Akira Ifukube theme like comes in and you see like I think the scene starts off with the two guys talking like they're planning their menacing, like they're just planning and they're all happy because they're like King Ghidorah is gonna win no matter what, and then they look at their screen and you see like this red dot, this blink, and they're like, what is that? And then it cuts to Godzilla and it's like da da da.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. I was gonna pick that one too.
I just love the pan up shot of Godzilla and he just roars and you just see him like walking and it's like here if a Kube theme like blasting. I'm like, yes, he's back.
Yep, that's what I was gonna pick. That was my favorite too. I got goosebumps when and Godzilla was walking with that slow bop. He was just coming out of the water. He was like, yeah, I'm here. I get that when I get there, but I'm letting y'all know I'm here. But when he got there, it was all business. Serge, what about you? Favorite scene overall in this film?
Did I ever send y'all the GIF or the meme of the blast headshot?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I think I have it saved. Where I don't know what it says in it, but it just shows like the blast. and then part of the screen, it's like a close-up of the head flying up, King Ghidorah's head flying off, and it just says, bruh. I gotta send you that. I don't remember what's on it, but it's funny. My favorite scene would still have to be the use of the pulse and blasting King Ghidorah away like that. But there is an honorable mention. One of my favorite GIFs to use, because I'm just love having fun with GIFs, is if you search Godzilla and cows. I think it's when he's heading into like the city, and people are running away and stuff like that. And there's that one scene where he's walking slowly, and there's cows nearby him. And if you have the closed caption on, you can find the GIF. It says, "Mooing intensifies." I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to y'all. You gotta put Remy in that. But no, that is my other favorite scene because I always have the closed captions on because of the kids, and so every time that scene comes up, I'm almost positive that's this movie. He's walking.
Oh my god!
Mooing intensifies.
Oh, that's funny.
I believe you're right though, because that's like a specific shot that I remember. It's like the cows in the foreground and Godzilla's in the background. He's walking slowly. So exactly. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. So that's honorable mention. Scene number 2.
Okay. What? Mooing intensive.
Let me send it to y'all.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Good. You learn something every day. That's awesome. Serge, I'm gonna stay with you on this question about King Ghidorah. How big of an impact has he had on you, the Godzilla fan base, and just the Godzilla movies in general?
King Ghidorah?
Yep.
He's the villain that we all just love to come back. I mean, every series, Showa, Heisei, Millennium, Reiwa, anime, Monsterverse, man, he's just an awesome villain. And I mean he's iconic. He's iconic to us in that regard too. And it's just one of those things, you could show if you were to show random people anywhere pictures of monsters. Of course, they're gonna recognize Godzilla. They're gonna recognize King Kong. Are they going to recognize Anguirus? Probably not.
Yeah.
But will they recognize
Right.
King Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the three-headed dragon who shoots the lightning. You know, so he's just, his design is so good. It's always been so good. He's just super recognizable. And also, I think with him, I know we don't really picture him as having a really much of a character, but I think he does have a character in the sense that when he comes in, he's always just blasting chaotically. Like, that's just him. Like, he's just chaos. And so he's a fun character in that regard. And I wish I had my King Ghidorah, because I actually these 1994 figures, I have the 1994 King Ghidorah. No, actually, I think that's a 91 because it came out with that movie, the Trendmasters. I have the King Ghidorah. My daughter likes to play with that one. And then I also have the Mecha King Ghidorah too.
Oh wow.
But one, I
Are
think
those
one
super
of his,
rare?
one of his, yeah, well, it is. But one of his necks or heads are missing. But I guess that's cool because his head goes missing anyways in this movie. So next time I'll find it. I'll bust it out. But I do have it still. But yeah, I just think his design and just the way he is just very iconic for all of us, and I instantly recognizable. Even his I know he's had different ones, but his roar, cry, whatever you want to call it, when you hear that, you know who it is.
Oh yeah, you know who it is. That was a really really good answer, sir. If you came through with that one, Remy, I'm gonna bring it to you.
All right.
Impact that King Ghidorah has had on you, Godzilla movies and fans in general.
Everything Sir said, I agree with. Like, I think Michael Dougherty in an interview said it best. He literally said that King Ghidorah is like, how do you put
The
it?
Joker?
The
Godzilla's
Joker,
Batman, yep.
The Godzilla's Batman. That's exactly what he said. And I was like, yeah, he summed it up perfectly. Like, King Ghidorah is basically the antithesis to Godzilla. Like, we think of Godzilla as like this destructive force in nature, but in reality, he's really keeping balance. And like almost every movie that we've seen him in, he's the bringer of balance. He keeps nature in control. And King Ghidorah is counter to that because King Ghidorah is just chaos. He's just utter menace, evil. He has no morals. He doesn't care who he kills. He just destroys everything in his path for his own benefit. And Godzilla's the opposite of that. When Godzilla destroys stuff, he does it for at least a purpose. But that's the opposite with King Ghidorah. And so I feel like every single time you have these two go at it with each other, it's engaging because it's amazing. It's awesome. Like exactly, like King Ghidorah's image, you can't get out of your mind. Like a golden three-headed dragon that shoots lightning. You're not gonna forget that anytime soon. And I feel like King Ghidorah is like one of those kaiju that will never fade out from popularity and will always find a way to come back new and improved, and we'll love him any way that they reimagine him in.
Man, that's y'all giving some awesome answers. Nick, I'm curious to hear what you're gonna say. Get your insight on this, man. The impact of King Ghidorah.
The impact of King Ghidorah, he was pretty tough. He was really tough. Like I can see why he's literally number one arch enemy for Godzilla. It was like crazy. He's how do you say it?
Overpowered? OP?
Yes, he's super overpowered. He has the tendency of a snake also.
Oh yeah, he do.
He's a Hydra. Think about it. Because if you look at, King of the Monsters, Godzilla ripped the head off, but then it regenerated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kevin.
He's a pretty tough dude. It took Burning Godzilla to take, that one out. And this one, he came back as something more powerful.
Right.
Like he had a whole grappling hook come out from his stomach, grapple Godzilla, and electrocute him. Which I'm pretty sure we have barely seen in any of the Godzilla films from the past. So seeing that was kind of great to me.
And I agree with you, Nick. And I think even when you break down an opponent like King Ghidorah, like just think about it. He can fly, right? He's got a crazy wingspan. He's got 3 heads. All of them can shoot their lightning, right? And I mean, it's just like if you pit him against anybody, it's almost a mismatch because, and like you said, Nick, he can regenerate.
Mhm.
He can move like a snake. He has all these abilities, all these things, and it's like, wow, for Godzilla to go up against something like King Ghidorah and win and have to give his all to win, it says a lot, just about how strong and how brutal King Ghidorah can really be. So I mean, all of y'all made some great, great, great valid points.
I mean,
I got
they put him in the Mothra movie.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
That's how iconic he
Mothra had
is.
its own thing. Yeah,
They
that's true.
sure did.
Another thing too
Um,
is that with every time King Ghidorah shows up, Godzilla always has to kind of like team up with somebody. Like he can't take him down on his own. I mean, like look at Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. He had to team up with Mothra and Rodan. Monster Zero. He had to team up with Rodan again. Destroy All Monsters. He had to team up with like freaking 9 other kaiju in order to take him down.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then, which he barely stood a chance in that fight, man. I'm sorry. King Ghidorah was done. But and King of the Monsters too, the newest one. Mothra had to team up with Godzilla again. So like every single time King Ghidorah has shown up, Godzilla has to have backup with him because he's just that powerful.
and is it just me or does Godzilla just be at a disadvantage? He literally like out of the few monsters that cannot fly. Mothra can fly, Rodan can fly, King Ghidorah can fly. He's
Wait,
around everybody that
wait.
can fly.
Oh, well, hold on. Godzilla can fly, right?
Yeah, if you
I
think
mean,
about
let's not
it,
forget
he
his
can
atomic
fly.
breath.
Yeah.
Hold
If
up.
you've seen it,
Yeah, hold on.
if you've seen him fly in Attack of the Astro Monster,
Yeah,
he
that's true.
technically can fly.
Godzilla was kind of just hovering with that breath. It happened like he was like his own jetpack.
That is
He
true, though.
He had a jetpack. I got 2 more questions for you guys. With this being the Heisei Godzilla era, where does this Godzilla design rank for you? And I'll start this one off with Remy.
That's a hard one, man. There's like so many good Godzilla designs in the Heisei series. This should probably be number 2 for me, man. I just love silhouette of this Godzilla. I just love how powerful he looks in this movie. How stern he looks. He kind of looks like a bear almost. Like the way he's built, he like looks like an actual bear. And I love the roar they use for him. Like this is like 1984 kind of roar, I believe. They like use this up until this movie really, because in 1992, Godzilla kind of had like that original kind of roar to him in that movie. So, but yeah, I really dig this Godzilla design. He'd probably be behind, I would say, like maybe Burning Godzilla for me, a number 1 for the Heisei designs. But to me, this is still a great design in my opinion. It's probably one of the best Godzilla designs actually.
What about you, Serge? Where does this Godzilla design rank for you? Good answer too, Remy, by the way.
Well, in general, I mean, Godzilla looks, for the most part, pretty consistent throughout the Heisei, except of obviously, Burning Godzilla and obviously 1984, 1985 Return of. Obviously, that one's a bit different, but the general Heisei design, Biollante, King Ghidorah, Mothra, Space Godzilla, all of them, that's my favorite. That is my favorite. So that is number 1. Definitely, that is my number 1 design. And then right after would actually be Monsterverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, and I've seen a video on it before too, where I don't know, this Godzilla just really, he looks like a monster, and a powerful one at that. And it also, I think it's just the most widely recognized design of Godzilla that's out there. I mean, I remember in the 90s, all the toys look like they're Heiseis. They're Heisei figures. And even now, I mean, we still have like the video from that ride in Japan.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it looks like the Heisei one. I mean, they did mix some slight elements of the MonsterVerse in there, but that, it's basically the Heisei design.
And it's killer too.
Yeah, and yeah, I just think it's the most recognized one and my personal favorite, hands down.
All right, Nick, we coming to you. Good answer, sir. Good answer, man. What about you, Nick? Favorite? Where does this design rank for you as far as your favorite Godzilla design?
My rankings go from my number one design is our modern age one right now.
Okay.
And then it would be him. I would put him as number 2 because he looked very muscular, angry, and what you would expect a hero/villain to look like as a kaiju. To me, that would be number 2 because he actually looked like what we all expected. His design, his history, and he was actually pure nuclear waste. Like that's all he fed off of.
And that's why I agree with Remy when his theme starts playing and he's coming out the water, like he's looking really, really menacing. Like he's mad, he's got an attitude, like he's got everything. Like I mean that gave me goosebumps every time I see it. So I agree. I definitely agree with Remy about that. But those are all good answers. Final question: how would you rate this film out of 5 stars? Let's go with you, Serge.
Oh
Serge,
man,
you laughing, man?
Ooh, that is tough. It's you know what? I'm not going to be picky about things. I'm just going to go by just how much I enjoy it. Of course, I will keep the other ones in mind because, like I said, Godzilla vs. Violante is my favorite.
Okay.
And right behind it is King of the Monsters. And I gave King of the... What did I give King of the Monsters? 9.5.
9.5.
Remy, you're in good... You're cool. Like, I gave it 9.5. And so I would have to go... Damn it, Donald. Why did you pick? I would have to go... I would say, like I said, I'm conflicted on this one because of the story. And I wasn't a huge fan of the android. I just wasn't. I don't know.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. But you know what? Because of the enjoyment factor, I'm gonna put that one. I do enjoy it. I really enjoy that one. So I'm gonna keep that one as like a 8.5. Okay, yeah, 8.5. Yeah, 8.5.
Okay, Remy, I'm coming with you. How would you rate this film out of 10 stars?
To me, like out of the Heisei series, or out of the entire Godzilla series, I guess, this is not one of my favorites. I really like it, though. I would just want to say it's like a movie that I keep coming back to now and then. But when I do, I always enjoy myself with it. So I feel like for me right now, my favorite Godzilla movie is Godzilla Vs Destroyer. Because that movie's just great, in my opinion. But with this one, like, I still have my issues with it. But overall, the overall experience of it is still enjoyable. So I'd probably give it like a 7.5 maybe. 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it 7.5 actually.
What about you, Nick?
Me, I would rank it an 8.5. It was very enjoyable to watch. I loved it. It was the second Godzilla movie I ever saw. And then after that was Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I would rate, 8.5 because it was pretty cool. All the effects, all the monster action that was in it. it had a lot of action for at least one of the movies.
Okay. This for me, this I'm kind of like Serge. This one for me is kind of hard to rank. Um, Out of 10, I'm somewhere between maybe a 6 and a 7, only because the plot was everywhere. But you got a lot of action in the movie, so it's like once you get towards the end of the movie, it's like it's everything. But it takes a while to kind of get into this one. Um, my brother, my older brother, he wasn't a fan of the Android either, sir. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because he wasn't a fan of it either. But I would say somewhere around maybe a 6 or a 7 because it was just the plot for me. It was hard for me to keep up with the plot. But then on the other hand, King Ghidorah and Godzilla makes up for that. They make up for it because of who they are. And I'm telling you, like, this movie low-key had a lot of action in it. It really wasn't any cutaways. Like, once they started fighting, you saw them fight. And it had more than one fight for me. So, but I mean, overall, it was a pretty good film. I got to revisit the film, and I do like the film. So that's where I'm at with it.
Movie to quantize, like I think everybody basically shares the same sentiment. It's not one of our favorites, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Like, it's good.
Yeah, it's not one of the worst. But no, it's not one of the worst Godzilla movies out there. That's Godzilla Revenge. But that movie's garbage. I'm sorry. A friend
You're not wrong.
watched that. My friend loves that movie because it's just total garbage, but he loves it. So he forced me to watch it. And I literally was like this during half of it. I'm like, oh my god, end.
I'll put it out to my
That
kids.
was the longest hour and 8 minutes in my entire life. I wanted my money back. I was like, hey,
can I leave? I have the VHS of that one.
No.
I mean, I got it when it was like in the late 80s. I didn't know it would be that bad,
Man, well, those who are watching, we do this every Thursday, 7 Eastern time. The episodes are available to watch on YouTube every Friday. This was a really, really good conversation, a healthy conversation. And if you want to find us, you can always find us on YouTube. Godzilla Nerds 1954. We have our own podcast playlist on that channel, and you can also, find each and every one of us on Instagram if you would like to. Remy, it was an honor having you on, man. It was awesome. We definitely got to have you back.
Definitely, man. This was fun.
You're awesome, man. You're awesome.
Yeah,
it was good conversating with you, good talking with you, good meeting you, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys too.
All right, well, Serge, Nick, Remy, it's been an honor. I'll see you guys, talk to you guys later, and I'll get this video uploaded, and you guys can check it out. We can all share it. Peace out.
All right, see ya.
Guys.